but really what the impetus of wanting to do this research is I can finally say after 20 years in the business that I actually do have the #1 television program, not only here, but on the planet. So many of us, and I swear this, thank you. The sourcing is full 11 font and there's no exclusions. So I'm really proud to be able to say that. But, it's really a defining moment for not only AMC, but cable industry in general. The gap between cable and broadcast has closed. We've seen that happen with sports, with ESPN for some years, but for a program like AMC to put on The Walking Dead and it end up beating NFL Sunday Night Football week after week in the demo is really something to be proud of. But when we came up with this concept, it was a couple years ago, and I said, when you have a program this big, big questions come up too. And what kind of big questions? Well, A, how big can this program get? Where is the potential audience to grow that audience? How can we find them? Should we be communicating differently to the people that engage with us on different platforms? What are the viewer expectations if they're dependent upon which platform they engage or discover us on? What are the trends in multi-platform because of that? And really to sort of follow the life cycle of this show. So as many of you know, there's limitations in the metrics we have today about television ratings, right? So for my viewers that watch on 8th day, I have no idea you exist. Hopefully none of you fall into that bucket. And most of the people we know watching The Walking Dead do not fall into that bucket. But for a program to grow successfully year to year for 5 years, they're coming from somewhere. So we really started talking about the whole idea of defining success. What does success look like for a show this big? And I'm not talking about whether you watch it on your TV, if you watch premieres, if you're watching off-season, if you're watching over-the-top, EST, or any of the other places, and now in syndication, which just started in fourth quarter. And I know this day will come eventually, and hopefully it's not Monday morning, but at some point this show is going to see declines in linear ratings. I want to be able to know if that truly is a decline in linear or if these people are proliferated to other platforms. So I partnered with Jason and his team, who are not only really good researchers, they do really smart work. And what we talked about is giving me a full, holistic picture of The Walking Dead, which encompasses all of these things we talk about. And not only show me how big this audience is, give me market sizing so I know how big we can get it and follow that trend throughout. So if we go to the next slide, did we miss a slide? Oh, no, sorry. So all of these topics listed were answered in the research that we've done, but obviously we don't have enough time to spend with you today to go through all of them, so we thought we'd really focus on 3 of them. 1, quantify the relationship between linear and alternative platforms. 2, market size. Where are our potential viewers? Where are we going to grow? And not only that, follow them from season to season. Identify the relative importance of paid media, earned media, all these new platforms, and probably most importantly, word of mouth. And then many of the other topics listed you can ask about later, but get me a drink first. So the design was we were going to do multi-waves to be able to track these people. We've already completed 2. We're about to embark on our 3rd during this season, which premieres Sunday night at 9 o'clock, followed by the premiere of the series, Better Call Saul. A little plug there. And what's interesting about the way we did it and what really attracted me to Vital Findings is they had a unique way to not only measure The Walking Dead viewers, but really give us a peek into television viewing, not only on linear, but on all the platforms. So the way they created the survey, and Jason will get more into this, is we got a full picture of television viewers in general, and then more specifically, The Walking Dead, where you can see here, 36% have watched The Walking Dead, 58% of them are aware, and a sad 6% are not aware of The Walking Dead.
Right, so you get market sizing for the entire TV viewing audience, regardless of what platform they're watching TV content on, as well as this deep dive into people who have watched The Walking Dead on any platform, any season. So we're kind of looking at two universes.
And something else unique that I found in the way that Vital Findings worked with the survey is they made it very visual. And this kind of rang true with the last session in the main room today, which is we're visual people. And when I'm asking you when you first started watching The Walking Dead with a list of dates, I wouldn't even know. So by having a visual timeline of when things came into view, this really was helpful. And the other thing I wanted to mention, I almost forgot, is that we talk about big data. AMC has embarked on this big data concept about a year and a half ago, and we're doing quite well. But the thing that we need to be cognizant of as researchers is that data gives me the what. What is happening, what's occurring. It doesn't give me the whys. And that is really why we felt like this research study over multi-waves would not even be able to give me the what. How big is my audience? Where are they? Why are they there? And what can we do to interact with them there?
And I think what's interesting is a lot of people would say that, ideally you do cross-platform with behavioral data, with set-top data, with on-device data. And what we found and what we did with Warner as well is that if you give respondents visual cues, ways to more correctly recall their previous behavior, not only is it easier for them to answer, it's more accurate. We've done some research on research to demonstrate that.
Research on research, I like that. And then the other piece was we really needed to be able to put this data into context. So we know that The Walking Dead's big. If we get results back, what does that mean? So we actually looked at two competitive shows, one which is my own, Mad Men, and the center, which is Sons of Anarchy. And the reason why we did this is we were hearing from other types of research that the viewers of Mad Men regardless of what we tell them, you can watch from like today, season 6, season 7, they believe they need to watch from season 1. Does that exist in a show like Sons of Anarchy or The Walking Dead, where it's a pretty easy concept, right? There's a bunch of people trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. Can you get in on a season 4 or 5? So it sort of bucked the trends of old ways of thinking, even that I presented years ago, which is serialized dramas, you can only be as big as the audience that watched last week. That's not the case with a show like The Walking Dead, or even in somewhat for Sons of Anarchy. But for Mad Men, you really can only be as big as the audience was last week, because they do feel like they need to watch from the beginning since it's such a character-driven drama. Oh, and then, so just to sort of give the Nielsen background, this is a Nielsen Live 7 number, and you see that we're at 20 million. But incredible growth year after year, and this is unfortunate that this is all we know. We know that we're 20 million strong linear. If we're that big in linear, how big are we outside of linear? And unfortunately, Nielsen hasn't kept up with metrics for me to be able to prove what this number is cross-platform, which is why we do feel like doing research like this helps.